Okay, so we're diving deep today into achieving greatness.
Oh, yeah.
And, you sent over this article from the Future Tech Wise blog, 12 Proven Keys by Kenton Patterson. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really liked it. So many of these lists about achieving greatness or,
Me too.
whatever are just
Yeah.
so generic and useless. But this one
It's
felt,
this one had some meat on the bones for sure.
yeah, it felt really practical and really actionable. And I think that's what we want to get at today, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are the core pieces of this that our listeners can actually take and
Yeah,
use? And
absolutely. And I think that's the big takeaway I got from the article too. It's not about some, magical formula.
right,
It's about these very practical steps, these keys as he calls them. And
yeah,
and his main point is that greatness is not,
right,
reserved for a select few.
yeah,
Anybody can achieve greatness if they're
yeah.
willing to put in the work and have the right mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about growth and resilience and purpose. And so let's dive into
Yeah.
doing those key. Let's start with that foundation, right? The
Yeah.
first key he talks about is finding your why. And that's
Absolutely. And I think he starts with that for a reason.
yeah.
It's all about really understanding what drives you at your core. What are your passions? What are your values?
Right.
And he really emphasizes, aligning your goals with those fundamental values with that why. And
Right.
that creates that strong foundation.
Yeah.
That's what's going to keep you going when things get tough.
Totally. And I think for me, when I think about, finding your why, it's like that gives you that focus, that
Yes.
clarity, right? You were talking about,
Yeah.
I want to be able to take in information quickly and efficiently well if you know your why. It's like, boom.
Absolutely. It's that filter,
Yeah.
that lens that you can look at everything through.
It's a compass, right? Like an internal compass that
Yeah.
guides your decisions. And
Sends your actions.
yeah, and then what fuels that compass? I mean, I think it's that second key he talks about, which is passion.
Yeah, passion is huge.
It's the fuel, right?
Absolutely.
And he says, it's that driving force that keeps you going when you face those roadblocks, and
Right.
and it's linked to a deep desire to make an impact.
Yeah, to really contribute something to the world.
Yeah.
Not just for yourself, but for something bigger than yourself.
Totally. And I think, hand in hand with passion goes that next key, which is persistence.
Absolutely. Persistence is key.
Right. It's like passion is the spark, and then persistence is the fuel that keeps that fire burning.
It's the engine that keeps you moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And he talks about how challenges are inevitable.
Oh, yeah, you're going to face roadblocks. You're going to hit walls.
Yeah.
That's just part of the journey.
But he frames them as opportunities for growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to see those setbacks as learning experiences.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important mindset shift. It's not about
Yeah.
avoiding failure. It's about learning from those failures and coming back stronger.
Absolutely. So, we've got that foundation, we've got the fuel now. What about the mindset?
The mindset.
What's
thing.
going on upstairs?
Yeah, the mental game.
Key 5 is learning.
Lifelong learning. Absolutely.
Yeah, reading widely, seeking out mentors, constantly upgrading your skills.
Yeah, and I think this one really resonates with your audience.
Mhm.
People who are curious, people who want to stay informed,
Yeah,
who are always looking for ways to improve themselves.
totally. And that feeds right into key 6, which is adaptability.
Yeah, you got to be able to roll with the punches.
Right.
The world is constantly changing, so you got to be able to adapt to those changes.
Yeah, and I think he really connects those two, right? Because it's not just about
Hey.
accumulating knowledge, it's about being able to apply that knowledge
Absolutely.
in this changing world.
It's about being flexible, being open to new ideas,
Yeah.
new strategies,
Yeah.
because that's what allows you to turn those challenges into opportunities.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about, the foundation, the fuel, the mindset, but now let's talk about character.
Okay. Yeah, character is huge.
Right, key 7 is all about integrity.
Yeah, living with integrity, being honest, being authentic,
Yeah.
making sure your actions align with your values.
Yeah. And he's very clear about this, right? He
Yeah.
says that real greatness
Right.
isn't just about what you achieve, but how you achieve it.
It's about doing things the right way,
Yeah.
earning that respect through ethical conduct.
And that builds trust.
Absolutely. Trust is essential, both
Mm.
for yourself and for the people you work with.
Totally. And that leads right into key 8, which is believing in yourself.
Self-belief.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
You got to have confidence in your abilities. You got to believe in your vision.
Yeah, and he talks about, cultivating that mindset that's focused on possibilities.
Yeah.
Trusting your own abilities, pushing past self-doubt.
It's about seeing what's possible and then going after it.
Yeah, absolutely. But, belief isn't enough. You need action.
Oh, yeah, you got to take action.
Key 9 is taking initiative.
Yeah, don't wait for opportunities to come to you.
Right.
You got to create those opportunities.
Stay proactive.
Exactly. Take ownership of your own success.
And that leads into, strategic thinking.
Yeah, key 10,
Key 10.
having a plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Setting clear goals, having specific objectives.
Yeah, and for our listeners who are all about efficiency, that focus on structured thinking and execution
Absolutely.
is key.
Yeah, you got to have a roadmap to get where you want to go.
Okay, so we've got all these keys, but then he brings in this really important element, which is the human element.
Yeah.
Key 11, the power of connection.
Relationships.
Yeah, building those strong relationships.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with supportive people who believe in you,
Yeah,
people who are going to help you along the way.
totally. And to bring it all together, key 12 is time management.
Time management.
Yeah.
That's the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah.
You got to be able to prioritize your tasks. You got to be able to eliminate distractions.
Yeah. Recognizing that time is your most valuable resource.
It's the one resource you can't get back.
So let's kind of wrap this all up. What have we learned about Patterson's 12 keys to greatness?
Well, I think what we see is a really holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about one thing. It's about all these things working together.
Yeah.
It's about having that deep sense of purpose. It's
Yeah.
about fueling yourself with passion and persistence.
Yeah.
It's about developing that growth mindset, being able to learn and adapt.
Yeah.
It's about living with integrity. It's about believing in yourself, taking action planning strategically,
Yeah.
building strong relationships, and managing your time effectively.
And I think what's really powerful about this is that it's a journey.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a lifelong journey.
You're not a destination.
It's not about reaching some endpoint. It's about constant growth and evolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as we leave our listeners with a final thought, I think it's important to remember that journey, it starts with a single step.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So as you're thinking about these keys, which one resonates most strongly with you right now?
Yeah.
Where do you need to focus your energy to take that first step?
That's the question to ask yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the one key that's going to unlock the door for you?
Awesome. Thanks for diving deep with me.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, we'll see you next time.